Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another meal prep video. First up is going to be some taco soup we're going to make that I can have for the week. I told you guys I was loving the chicken chili last week, where I just had a meal I could eat on that was great with leftovers. Taco soup is also one of my favorite leftover meals. I feel like it gets better the longer it's in the fridge. So I am definitely going to be eating this for lunches and dinners a few times this week, and the rest of it I can just throw in the freezer, which it does freeze very, very well as well. Now I'm going to be doing mine with ground chicken. I do mix this up a little bit. I'll do ground chicken, ground turkey, I'll do lean ground beef, I'll do sometimes shredded chicken. That's what makes this soup so good, because you can do like all different kinds of protein on this, or if you want to make it totally meat-free, you can do that as well. So I browned up my ground chicken. I'm doing this in my pressure cooker so I can saute the meat and stuff first. And then I put in 1 package of ranch seasoning mix and 1 package of taco seasoning. So of course you can make your own taco seasoning and your own ranch mix, which I used to do, but you guys, just anymore, I just want a little bit of convenience. So we go with the packaged stuff right now. And now we're going to put in our can of diced tomatoes. I have the fire roasted diced tomatoes. I have the Rotel. We have a can of black beans, which I try to do my beans no salt added whenever I can, because you're already getting, it's just easier to control your seasoning, and there's a lot of sodium in canned food. So I do try to buy all my canned food no salt added, and then I just add my own seasoning and stuff when I go in there. So we need kidney beans, black beans, a can of Rotel, diced green chilies, and then I use fire roasted tomatoes. It's just a preference. I like how those taste. And then about 2 cups of frozen corn. I feel like frozen corn works the best in, I think I said this last week too, works the best in soups and stews. Now you don't drain any of these, because that's kind of what makes up the sauce. But I am going to add in a can of beef broth. You can use chicken, you can use vegetable broth, whatever you'd like. When I have bone broth on hand, I do like to use bone broth because it adds a little bit more protein to it, and it has such a good flavor, but I didn't have any on hand. And then you just give this a good stir. Now this is pretty much done. You don't have to do the next step that I'm going to do, which is I'm going to let it slow cook for a few hours. I just prefer that, so I'm putting it on low on slow cook, and I'm going to let it sit there for about 3 hours. Here is how I serve up my taco soup. So I do a little bit of reduced fat Mexican style cheese, some plain non-fat Greek yogurt that makes it really creamy, or you could use sour cream, some jalapenos, some cilantro, and some green onions. And then I have some baked Tostito scoops. These are the ones right there. So when I show you the points and calories, I'm going to show you just for the soup itself. Next up, we're going to do a festive protein pudding. So we're going to do a pumpkin protein pudding. Easy ingredients. You may have all these already on hand. I had a little bit of pumpkin left over last week. I had this lone vanilla shake, so I was like, what can I make? And decided protein pudding. So we need a half of a cup of pumpkin puree. Make sure you're using pure pumpkin puree, not the pumpkin pie filling. So I'm just going to put this in a blender cup. And then you need 1 tablespoon of sugar-free cheesecake vanilla pudding mix, and then a full package of vanilla sugar-free vanilla pudding mix. Sugar-free, I think I already said that. A sugar-free vanilla pudding mix. So 1 tablespoon of cheesecake and a whole package of vanilla. And then we're going to do some pumpkin pie spice. And then I'm just going to pour in this entire vanilla protein shake. And we're going to go ahead and put this in the blender and give it a stir. Now, don't do what I did. Put your shake in first, then put all your dry ingredients. I don't even know what I was thinking, but the pumpkin got stuck on the bottom with all the pudding mixes and stuff. So put your shake in first, then put your pure pumpkin in there, and then put in all your dry ingredients, and it should mix up a lot better. But this is what it looks like when it gets mixed up. You can already see how thick it is, but I do like to put mine in the refrigerator for at least an hour, but it's always best overnight, and it'll come out nice and thick. And then I will top this with some sugar-free Cool Whip, which I'm going to show you here in just a second because I plan on having this for dessert the day after I'm filming this. Here is how I serve up the pumpkin pudding, pumpkin protein pudding. I have some sugar-free Cool Whip, which is this one right here. So I have 2 tablespoons of that on there, or actually I weighed it out. So it's actually, I don't know, I can't see it, 9 grams, whatever a serving is of the Cool Whip. This is a pretty small bowl. But so I just did a third of the serving of the protein pudding because I think that's all I'm gonna want. Originally, I was thinking it would be like 2 servings, but after I put it in the bowl, I think 3 servings is gonna be perfect. Like I said, this is kind of a small bowl, but you may do 2 or 3 servings, but all the points and the calories and all that here on the screen is gonna be for 3 servings. I was trying to think of something to use up the rest of my kale in the refrigerator, some shredded carrots I had open, some wonton strips I had open in my pantry. You guys, I'm doing really good with using up things in my pantry. I've been trying to make a lot of meals around what's in my pantry, and that's what we're doing here. So we're gonna make an Asian chicken salad, and I'm gonna feature this Asian sesame ginger dressing. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, I had this salad today and I was not a fan of this dressing. So far it's the only Skinny Girl dressing that I have not liked. It wasn't bad, it just was not my favorite. So that's just my own opinion. I like the Newman's Own better. So we're gonna go ahead and do what we did last week with this kale. I'm gonna put a little bit of salt. I'm gonna put some lemon juice in here, and I'm just gonna massage the kale, and that just makes it nice and the leaves less bitter and nice and soft. And this did work out so well last week. And just doing the lemon juice and the salt, you don't have to use oil. If you look up, most of the time when they say massaging kale, they have you use oil. You don't need oil. And then I'm going to add some coleslaw in here just to add a little bit extra crunch to the salad. I do like to have different textures in my salad. So we're going to do coleslaw with the kale. And then we're going to also add in some cilantro and some shredded carrots. So I already had these shredded carrots in there from the last week or the week before. Yeah, whatever, the week I did the kale pecan cranberry salad. And so I wanted to use up these shredded carrots. So I used up quite a bit of them this week. And I just like, again, having that extra crunch in there. And then I'm going to add some cilantro. If you notice, whenever you buy the bagged Asian salad kits, it always has cilantro in there. And I love cilantro, so I toss some in there because, like I said, that's what's in the salad kits whenever you buy them. And then next up, we're going to go ahead and weigh out our dressing. So I'm just going to do about 1.5 servings of the dressing. And like I said, I really wish I would have liked this more, but it just kind of had a weird off taste to it. I don't know. I just was not a fan. I already had pre-measured out the slivered almonds. I did a half of a serving of the slivered almonds. And we're also going to add in some onions. So I'm not actually weighing out the rest of the stuff, but I did want to weigh out the dressing. So just ignore the weight on the thing. I do not weigh out my green onions. Do not weigh out my lettuce. I just kind of fill it all up and just kind of make an estimate when I'm trying to come up with the calories. So we're going to go ahead and stuff this full of the kale coleslaw carrot mixture. And then we're going to do a second one. So this is pretty basic salad. I'm going to do the wontons on the side and the chicken on the side like I did last time. So this is, like I said, pretty basic. We have our dressing, we have our almonds to get a crunch, we have our green onions to add a little bit of freshness to it, and then we just have all that healthy salad mixture, which I am just loving kale right now. I never thought I would say that. I did not enjoy the baby kale that I used last week. So you can tell I did not add the baby kale this time. End up giving that to my chickens. They liked it. But I was not a fan of the baby kale. This curly kale was really good. I am enjoying that. And here's what my salads look like. So we have our grilled chicken tenders that I had put into the air fryer. I weighed out a serving of the wonton strips, so we'll have those on the side. And we have our nice, beautiful salads here, which I am going to love having for lunches this week. And the last thing I'm going to put together is just going to be some dip. I have this, I think this is a 16-ounce container of the Faye plain non-fat Greek yogurt. And then my Knorr vegetable dip, which you guys know, I have been using this. If you've been watching me for any amount of time, you know I've been using this for probably about 7-8 years. I love this stuff. Now, when you do a 32-ounce, so the large container of the plain non-fat Greek yogurt, you would use the entire bag of this Knorr vegetable dip, but I'm just doing half of it because, again, this is half the size, so it's a 16 ounce. This is really good with wraps. It's good with your carrots and cucumbers, which is what I'm going to use it for. But it is such a good, flavorful dip. You guys will love it. If you have not tried it, definitely check it out. I personally do not count points for the seasoning mix, but that's just my own personal preference. We all have our rules, quote, rules that we break on Weight Watchers. And that is my whole entire meal prep this week, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Check out the description box for any links to any recipes, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.